let's take a look at some of these names that could be in play. If the Cowboys are really bad the rest of the way, and I mean really bad, and I said it yesterday, and I'll repeat it. Kristen was unhappy I said it. Kristen's unhappy, I'm going to repeat it. The Cowboys fail to win 8 games. I will come in here looking like Mike Bassick. I will shave my head bald. Woo! Because they're not going to win 8 games this year.
Put that on the wall.
You got to go ahead. You got to think that's
on the wall.
5-5 the rest of the way. You think this is a 500 team the rest of the way? That's tough. That's tough right there. Yeah. And so I think we're looking at, honestly, best case scenario right now. What are you looking for?
Looking for the sticky notes.
Best case scenario for the Cowboys right now, I think, is realistically for me is 6-11.
Best case.
Mm-hmm. I mean, go look at the what they have coming up. I think they're 6-11.
Okay,
and I think it could be as bad as 4 or 5. It could be if it goes really sideways. You could look at a 4 or 5 win football team, but 6-11 is what I think, which would put you probably, if you get those 4 to 6 wins, that could put you anywhere from the top 3 to top 10.
Right now, they are picking 13th.
That's only gonna go up. So we're gonna keep on climbing to the top,
which I'm fine with. I'm totally more than fine with.
What do you want? What are you looking for, Sean? What would you like on this football team next year? Where would you say, man, if I could get a cheap, young, really talented player at this position, I want him?
I mean, name it.
Name anything? Let's go. Let's start with the receiver.
Wide out, baby. Do it.
Tetairoa McMillan, Arizona receiver. They call him T-Mac. That's his nickname. Now, Tetairoa McMillan he's interesting because he went to Arizona and he was a top 15 type of recruit. He was I think he's the highest recruit that Arizona's ever gotten. But he ended up going to Arizona and he really broke out last year along with Malik Neighbors and, Roma Dunze and different guys like that.
Jed was the coach there.
And he is a star. This is a guy that is very similar in terms of as a prospect coming out, only with better agility to what Drake London was, who we're going to see this weekend. But big guy, 6'5", 210, 215, something around there. Probably ends up being 225 at the NFL level.
Right now, I see him projected 7 to the Raiders. This is just tankifying.
Yeah. Somebody who's very physical, great hands, gets the ball, and is surprisingly nimble in open space. This is somebody who legitimately, if you put him across from CeeDee Lamb, it would feel, I think, for a lot of people like, okay, well, game over. Who are you covering?
Wow.
Because a lot of the times, because of how big McMillan is, and because of if he were to hit the potential that he has, you're going to start seeing people have to make choices of, do we bracket Lamb or do we bracket McMillan? Because McMillan's so big, we might need a safety. Like, there's got to be some sort of double coverage over here to try and take things away from him. So, Tetairoa McMillan is a name to know. That guy very well could be the number 1 receiver in the draft. Luther Burden from Missouri is another guy that people are really high on. He has not played as well this year. Like I think that there's been some disappointment in him taking another leap. But he was somebody who scouts had right up there with McMillan before the year. McMillan has kind of taken over now. He's been really, really good for Arizona this year. Do you want an offensive lineman? You want to say, you know what? Let's get a different left tackle. Tyler Guyton, it was a nice experiment. Let's flip you back over to right tackle and cut our losses with Terrence Steele.
Yep.
Let's go find a new left tackle. Or let's find a guy to play left guard and bounce Tyler Smith out to left tackle, because that's what we need to do. Well, Will Campbell from LSU might be your guy. Will Campbell's big dude, 6'6". He's very big. 6'6", 325. Tyler Smith type of size. And Campbell, there's a question for some teams about his length because he's a little shorter on the arms. And so some people wonder if he would have to play guard. But I think you've seen with Rashawn Slater and other guys who've come out in recent years, arm length has mattered a little bit less for some people at the tackle position than it used to. As long as you're a good technician and you're somebody who knows how to use that length. Peter Skoronski's been, pretty good. He started to come around for the Titans in recent years. And so as long as you know how to use that length and use it to your advantage and have your hands and feet working in harmony, then you're going to be good. Campbell is that. Campbell is a strong technician. He's in his 3rd year of starting. Started basically right from the jump as a freshman at LSU and was never overpowered in the SEC. So if you look at big-time tape at a big-time program and somebody who has consistently checked every box, that's Will Campbell. Travis Hunter.
Ooh.
Are they picking first?
They might be. Have you seen this football team, Chop? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Yeah. Travis Hunter is a guy who I think if the Cowboys picked him.
Right now, number 1, Will Chambers, looking correct with his Bobby fight. Shador to Carolina.
According to who?
Tankathon.
Okay. All right. Very good.
I can't believe
What?
you said the correct. I still haven't talked to Will. I still haven't talked to him.
We haven't had a reason to chat.
Gosh.
There hasn't been anything that's come up since.
Are you saying you have not been in a worse sports fight with Choppy and myself than you got into with Will, and we didn't?
No, but I see y'all every day.
So otherwise we wouldn't speak. Otherwise we wouldn't talk.
I don't know if I had time to stew on it. Maybe I don't know. But if he was right here in front of me, I'm sure I'd give him a hug and we'd be good.
Be fake.
I'd be fake.
Be fake.
Yeah.
That's not fake.
You don't want to talk to him.
Travis
you haven't talked to him.
Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. I think if he was picked here, he'd be playing in the secondary. I think. Could be a receiver, but I do think that when we talk about do you have to move Diggs or Bland, if you were to move Diggs,
would it be what Jerry picks?
No.
Jerry just sees all the Dion 2.0 opportunities again?
No, I think it'd be whatever. I think he'd listen to tell me which side of the ball he's playing. I think he'd love to have Travis Hunter. Now, what Jerry might say is, he might say, if they're going to play him at corner, just like, well, what if we just got him a couple tosses as a receiver? Like, I think Jerry might be interested in the idea of, well, if you can do both, fine, we can put him at one, but like let's maybe work in some opportunities for him to.
You think it's sustainable to play both at the NFL level?
I think you can be a corner who gets some reps at receiver. I don't think you can be a receiver who gets some reps at corner.
Is this guy the best conditioned athlete in the history of college football? Seriously.
Way up there.
I mean, Anthony Richardson is just just dying.
Charles Woodson.
Desmond Howard.
Did Charles play as many reps? Desmond Howard didn't play defense.
I don't know if he played as many reps.
He's playing both side reps, I think, more than anyone else.
Miles Jack played linebacker and running back for UCLA. And so he was somebody who got, and then he was also returning kicks. So Miles Jack is probably up there. But yeah, Travis Hunter is playing like full-time snaps on both. He's not coming in for some occasional work.
I know. That's why I brought it up. It was my point.
I know. All right.
I'm the one who made the point.
Shots from the sheriff. Yeah, that's what we're doing here.
Is he returning too? Is he returning?
Who?
Hunter.
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, he has before, but I don't think he's actively doing it right now. James Pierce Jr. You familiar with this guy, Chop?
Go Vols.
Tennessee. This is all upside with James Pierce. It's super long, super athletic edge rusher from Tennessee who has produced, but it's not clicked into place the way it has with other top tier edge rushers that you've seen in the past, like Myles Garrett or different guys like that. It's more of like a Danielle Hunter type of pick when he was coming out of LSU, where it was you're really banking on what he can become and what you can turn him into as an edge rusher. And a lot of different edge rushers, when they're coming out, when they have all these traits, what they're lacking is refinement. They're lacking technique. And that's something that NFL teams are willing to be a little bit more patient for with edge rushers. Edge rushers typically will win by just running by guys at the college level. You can't do that unless you're Micah. Micah got here and was able to do that. But typically they will say, we're going to have a year or two where you're not going to be as impactful as we want you to be. And so what we're going to work on there is how you use your hands. College football, that is routinely what scouts will tell you they have the biggest problem with when you're a defensive lineman is they don't know how to use their hands when they get in here. Yeah, and that's where Pierce is at.
He's a speed guy. He's going to, like, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Is he like OC? Coming out just a little raw, but super long.
Yeah, he's got all the traits you want, and you see flashes of it. It's just the NFL teams would say he hasn't been coached the right way yet. We're going to get him in here, and we're going to do it. And so that's where he's at. And then the last name, top 10 pick, baby. It's the year of the running backs. They've been making a comeback. Ashton Genty from Boise State. Frisco product.
Yeah.
Local kid. And a guy who the comparison that I think makes a lot of sense is like a bigger, not as bulky, faster version of Maurice Jones-Drew. That's who he's very similar to when I watch him play. But if you want to talk about, because I know people always say, what's the value of a running back? The argument can be made that if you're going to pay a running back, pay them during the first 5 years of their career. Run them into the ground, use them up. Don't bother giving them that second contract. But that's where you'd be getting the bang for the buck if you paid them $7 million or $8 million a year, would be when they're in that stage, first coming out of school, and that's where Genty is. And he has been consistent. This is not just at Boise. He's tearing up, Virginia Commonwealth. He's beating up on Oregon and other big school programs.
And if there is a new regime and coaching staff taking over this offseason, can we just hire Belichick after the draft? Like, do what you got to do. Will McClay stays. If he wants to be the GM somewhere else, you got to keep him until the draft actually happens. Then Belichick can take over. Keep him away from the draft room and selecting the players.